In this video, we will review how to create reports in AAI's Thick client. I'm going to switch to the reporting tab, and please notice that there are 6 categories in bold here, and under each of the categories we have instances of that particular report. So I will start with the job stream summary and demonstrate how to create it from scratch. I'm going to highlight the type of report that I want, so that's my bold category that's highlighted, and press the plus button. And here I will specify a descriptive name. I'm going to call it job stream summary, and I'm going to specifically create this report for the investment bank job stream, so I will include that in the title. It's a very good idea to use descriptive names. Notice that these reports can be made available to other people. So if I click the public radio button here, this report will be available for other folks to either run or make a copy of. My user ID will still be the owner of this report, and nobody else will be able to change my copy, but other AAI users will be able to create their own copy or run my version of this report. So next we're going to find the job streams that this report will be reporting on. So notice that by default we have a business area selection of all. So that essentially is all job streams from the very top business area. So I'm going to remove that because I'm really interested in a particular job stream that I would like to include here. So I will go to my AutoSys business area and choose investment bank and move it over. And this is my selected list of job streams. Notice that at the bottom of this job streams available panel, you have different options. I'm using the business area tree, but you can also display job streams alphabetically. And then you have a search that in case you have a lot of job streams and it's quicker for you to find a particular one or maybe a set of job streams, you can use this. So for instance, if I wanted to find everything that starts with finance, I can type that, and this is the same control that we see in other places in the product. Starts with, ends with, contains. And the last option is the most powerful one, and that's regular expressions. If I were to type dot splat, that essentially is a regular expression for any string of any length. So that search will return all job stream names in the system. But on the other hand, if I wanted to find any job stream that contains demo in its name, I can extend that search and get a list of all job streams that contain demo. If I were to add this search to the selected side of things, notice that the entire matching pattern comes over here. You can open it up and see what's in it, but essentially this is a very good time-saving technique for defining matching patterns that later on in the future will essentially automatically pick up any job stream that has demo in it. So this is a time-saving technique, and it's very useful. And one other comment about that is when you are creating reports, it's really good to think through your naming conventions. Not only are the names supposed to be descriptive and self-explanatory, but having naming conventions for reports might actually save you time in the long run. So that's a good practice to have that naming convention for the reports. I'm going to remove this matching pattern because I really don't want those job streams selected. Notice that at the bottom we have the grouping and sorting section of this dialog. I'm going to group by job stream, and I will also select the chart because I would like to see a chart of my runs. And I'm going to sort by date. There are many other criteria here that you can sort by, and this comes in handy when you are looking for something specific. So keep that in mind when you're running this report. Next, we will choose runs. So I am interested in completed runs, so that's what I will focus on. And the next thing we need to choose is what is the period of time that I will be reporting on. So I'm interested in the last 30 days. So I will type that in. You have other options here for specifying specific time ranges. You can also choose days of the week. And if you're looking for something in particular, let's say runs only on specific days, you can use this specific dates option at the bottom. I'm going to go back to the last 30 days and I will click OK to save that. So the next tab for this report is basically which columns I would like to include. So by default, all of these are on the right-hand side, but obviously you can eliminate them. Because I'm dealing with all completed runs, I'm just going to remove percent complete because all of my percent completes will be 100%. And maybe I don't want the target job parentage, so I'm going to remove that. And also, maybe I would like the business area to be right after the target job, so I will use this control to move it up right after the target job. So you can see that these green arrows, up and down arrows, just allow you to move columns on the report from left to right. And obviously we have demonstrated how to add and remove different columns from the report. And lastly, there are different formats here. So we can produce this report in a PDF format, as HTML, or as XML. The option, in addition to the PDF, that I use often is the CSV. So if you wanted to dump the data for this report in the CSV format, that would be the way to do it. So anytime you need to open up a report in Excel, this is essentially the format you would use. I'm going to stick with PDFs just for the demo here. And that really is it that we need to do here. So by clicking OK, I'm going to save this report under my job stream summary. And now we can run this report. So there are two ways of doing that. You can either double click it, or there is a run button on the toolbar. So I'm just going to do that. Notice that there is a run report slider in the upper right corner. And then because my PDFs are automatically opened by the browser, we got this report in my Chrome. So let me just show you what JobStream Summary shows. So because we ran this report for 30 days, and I also included current day, we're going to have a graph that essentially shows you the last month or so. And notice the red line is our SLA. So the SLA that has been set up for this job stream is basically marked here. And then we have a run for each day. This job stream happens to run just a single time per day in our demo environment. And visually, you can very quickly see that there's one run here that exceeded the SLA. So that's a visual representation. But I also included the details for these runs. And early late column is how you can find that one particular run that was late. And we can see that it was late, 3 minutes and 57 seconds. The values here, negative values, is essentially indicate runs that met the SLA. Positive numbers here indicate the amount of time that this JobStream run ran over past the SLA. So this is pretty much what we need to do here in terms of creating reports. I will record another video that will allow me to show you other examples of reports that are available in AAI's Fig client. I wanted to add a little bit to that. I'm going to press the edit option on the toolbar and open up the definition of a report that we've created in the previous video. So first of all, there was this investment bank job stream that I was reporting on, and one thing I would like to show you is how to sort. If you are reporting on the SLA compliance, it might be useful to use early late column for sorting. So that's one improvement we can make to this report. The other thing I'd like to mention is that it is possible to generate this report in a different time zone. So the time zone I was using was the Mountain time zone that I'm at, but it's possible to generate this in a different time zone. This is very useful for teams that are distributed, and particularly distributed in different time zones. And if the convention is to use the local time zone, this comes in really handy to produce a report in a particular time zone that makes sense for the recipients of the report. So I'm going to choose Greenwich Mean Time here and essentially save that. And if I run this report, it will open up with those changes. So let me make this a little bit bigger. So essentially the graph is unchanged because we have not modified anything. But notice that we have the sort here. So our missed SLA is going to be at the very bottom. So negative numbers are going to show up at the top of this column, and then the missed SLA is going to show up at the bottom. The other thing you would notice is that the time zone is now British summertime, so that's the other change that we made.